What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Citizens Fancast. After a week off and enjoying the international break, I don't have a lot to say during the international break, so I don't really like doing episodes. I don't watch a ton of the international games, so it doesn't pay for me to sit there and spew my way through an episode when I don't really got too much going on, not too much surrounding the club either. But got an exciting episode today. Obviously, we're going to discuss the Brentford match from the weekend, as well as look ahead to the Champions League campaign starting out and the big match against Arsenal on Sunday. So, two big matches already. Pretty easily can say our most important week of the season thus far. Probably won't be our most important week of the season throughout the entire season, but thus far definitely is. So looking forward to it, excited. And then obviously our trial started today. And I'll talk a little bit about that, not too much, because unlike everybody that supports the other 19 clubs in the league, I'm not a lawyer. So I'm not going to act like I know what's going on. But got that and a few other things going on as well. So uh, good episode. Let's jump right in. Before I jump in, I apologize in advance if I have any sound issues. My microphone still is a little messed up, and I think I need a new connection cord for it because I think mine's broken. So as long as I don't touch it, I don't think it's going to break. But beyond that, um, hopefully it works for this entire episode, and I don't fidget too much and accidentally break it. But uh, let's get into the match from this weekend. So starting lineup. Ederson, Walker, Akanji, Stones, Lewis, Kovacic, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Grealish, Holland, and Savio. So from the start, no Foden again, no Rodri. I kind of expected that. I expected Foden to come on at some point, get some minutes. That didn't happen. A little surprising that we changed up the defense, in my opinion, and just taking Diaz out. Uh, I don't know if it was the right choice. It worked out in the end. We got the 3 points. It didn't. It felt like too many changes. I think what we had going for us was working. It seemed like we had a good balance to the lineup. The defense was doing well, but obviously Pep is always going to keep changing, adapting. We know this. We know he does this. He likes to rotate players, especially coming up. We got, I think, 7 matches in the next month or so. So obviously for him, try some new things, get some new players going. Obviously, Ake not available with his injury that he picked up in the international break, but I didn't know about putting both Walker and Stones in when they really hadn't had a ton of time this season thus far, and obviously then moving Rico Lewis over to the right back position. Obviously, he inverts more and goes central, but still at times in that right back position. So kind of a slow start, and I think teams have seen where they can attack us early, and that's exactly what happened, and that's how you allow a goal in 22 seconds. So I think we've kind of seen that teams can come at us for the first minute or so, really go after us before we really settle in or anything like that, and get a shot off, and they did and they went up early and credit to him. Couple mistakes. Walker missed his mark on the back post. It happens. I know he's not most favorable in the fan base at all times, but missed his mark on the back post, and then Stones just missed the ball, kind of kicking it away from Ederson having any chance at it, and they they headed it into basically an open net. So, uh, wake up call early, kind of frustrating to watch. Yeah, I think it really makes you question the choices with the starting lineup just because you don't know if that would have happened if you have Diaz out there, if you have Guardiola out there. You move Rico Lewis back to the right side. Does he pick up the mark? Questions obviously we can't answer, but we got the 3 points, so it's not the end of the world. But obviously, 3 points through Holland with his goals in the 19th minute and in the 32nd minute on an assist from Ederson. Possession was 54%, and I think that kind of just shows the way we played in a way. I expect more possession in a match like this. I would expect more possession at least, and it didn't really feel like we had moments where we got going. We had moments where we were off. I think overall I didn't really feel like we were going to concede much after the first 10 minutes or so. First 10 minutes were a little shaky. Rico saving us on a shot or blocking a shot before it was able to get off, intercepted or with a tackle, winning the ball back. And then Ederson making a good save as well. But it really could have been 3-0 in the first 10 minutes. So it was a rough start, had a rough go. Going forward, to start out, it didn't really feel like we had a lot of possession, a lot of direction, didn't really know what we were doing for the most part. I didn't necessarily like dropping Bernardo as well. It just feels like the way he's been playing, he deserved more minutes. So I don't, or to continue to play. So I don't know if Pep was looking ahead to Wednesday already. I would expect that was the case. I think we'll see the likes of Diaz, Bernardo, maybe Foden step into the lineup come Wednesday. I don't know if it'll be interesting to see what he does defensively. Obviously, later in the second or into the second half, Guardiola came in for Rico Lewis. I thought Rico Lewis was doing well, but from a defensive standpoint, it felt like we were shored up quite a bit more once Guardiola came in. But I think in this match in particular, like I said, first 10 minutes were really shaky. 12, 15 minutes around in that range, it kind of felt like we got going a little bit more. We're able to get possession, sustain possession, kind of get into our attacking rhythm and just kind of do what we normally do, attack the way we do. It it's a little unsettling when we don't have the ball just because we do possess the ball so much through matches. I just felt a little unsettled. Uh, but we got a goal back fairly early. Holland isn't going to miss. And I kind of want to point out what Walker did on the ball. So Walker gets the ball at the edge of the box, almost a fake shot in a way. And I think that's improvement that we're seeing out of him as well. I think last year, early in the season, he would have taken that shot. Obviously, towards the end of last year, he kind of toned that down a little bit, wasn't taking these ridiculous shots from, 20, 25, 30 yards out and, blasting them out of the stands even. So I think it was a good move by him. Like I said, almost a fake shot, pass to De Bruyne, kind of bounces around a little bit. De Bruyne didn't officially get the assist on that, as far as what I've seen, and made it to Holland. And we know the rest. He's not gonna miss from that range. So 1-1, and I kind of want to point out something that just the broadcast pointed out that, up to that point, they hadn't seen a ton from Holland. He hadn't really got on the ball. I think I saw a stat that he's averaging a goal every 9 touches this year. And I think that just shows to what he's able to do with his touches. He doesn't need to be on the ball. He doesn't need to be possessing, you know, running at players with the ball. What he does is he gets in attacking positions and he's able to get in the right positions. Players are able to find him based on his size, find his feet, find his head, whatever. And he's able to create that space, get a shot off, and he doesn't need to, dribble and attack like other players do. And I think that's what makes him such a good striker. People like to say he's just there for the tap ins. It's not about the tap ins though. It's more about his positioning and his attacking awareness to know where to put himself in the right scenarios and know where to find the space in the box and where his teammates can find him, use that stuff to get in the right positions to finish off those chances that we create. And I think that's what makes him so good. I mean, he's got 9 goals in 4 matches, which is incredible. He's outscoring every other team in the Premier League, and he's got every goal of ours except for 2. So incredible. I think, I mean, at this rate, he's going to absolutely shatter his own goal scoring record. And I don't, you know, God forbid, hopefully he doesn't have an injury, but you know, if he doesn't, who knows what number he can hit. And I don't even want to throw a number out there because he could hit an absolutely ridiculous number. And that's just, we'll see how his finishing continues as he's playing more matches. We'll see if he's able to be rotated through some of the cup matches and whatnot, and what Pep decides to do there. I think it makes it a little more difficult with Bob being out as long as he is, and with Foden not getting any time. I think those are 2 players we'd see step into more of a false nine role. But it's as long as Holland's out there, I'd bet on him getting a goal at this point in any match. So it'll just be if he can keep up and continue playing the amount of minutes that we need him to play. Not having a backup is going to probably eventually weigh on his legs if he has to go 90 minutes every single match. Obviously, there's going to be matches where we're up and we don't need him out there anymore. If we're up 2 or 3 in the last 10, 15 minutes, obviously he doesn't need to be out there. Get him out, uh, get a little bit of rest for him when he's scoring at the rate that he is. Kind of need to protect him at all costs. But it's the main switch for me was, we scored the goal, and up until that point, there wasn't a ton of energy in the stadium. There wasn't a ton of energy from the players on the field. And once we got the goal, the crowd got into the match a little bit more, seemed to energize our players a little bit more as well, get them going. They seem to be a lot more willing to press, a lot more. The press seemed a lot more coherent, just pressing as a unit, not 1 or 2 players just chasing after the ball. But the way they were set up, they still were breaking down our press a little more than we probably should have had. And I think that's where Guardiola coming in as well helped shore up the defense so we didn't get exposed as much. Uh, Rico Lewis was doing really well, getting forward, pressing on his own, but it kind of left us a little exposed defensively. And it's not really, it's not his fault in a way. It's just kind of what we needed in the scenario, and I think that's why Pep made the switch. Like I said, he wasn't playing poorly. I think it's just what you need for that scenario, and that's what makes our team so incredible because Rico Lewis was having a great match, but take him out at 45, bring Guardiola in, and just help shore up the defense. And Guardiola was needed more in that scenario and needed more for what we needed in that match. So, Lewis is really good, has been really good this year at getting forward, being a part of the attack, but being up and not creating a ton of chances and being exposed at times on the counterattack, just by the sheer amount of numbers that we have forward. It makes more sense to put in a player that's going to be more defensive minded, going to be a little bit stronger. Obviously, we know Rico Lewis's size, and that's not something he can control. But Guardiola just in general is going to be a stronger player in those circumstances. So different players, different situations, and it's just what makes us amazing because you have a player that was doing really well. I think one of our best players in the first half, in all honesty, and then you sub in someone else who can excel and go past just based on what we need for the scenario. So it definitely shored us up. We still felt a little more open than I would have liked. I think we were allowing a little more attack, but I think as the match went on into the second half as well, and just with the the changes that were made at halftime. Rodri came on for Kovacic as well. But with those changes, it shows that Pep is willing to adjust, willing to make the changes, willing to say, I don't feel safe. I don't feel content with this 2-1 lead. Let's go make sure we shore this up, kill off this match. It would have been great to get another goal. Obviously, we didn't get that, but it did feel safer in the second half. Uh, by all means, the entire match was not our best performance at all, but I think last year, especially, we saw these moments from the 45th to 60th minute where we'd lose the ball, be on the back foot for 10, 15 minutes, just absorbing pressure, and a lot of times we'd concede in those portions of the match where we didn't have the ball and we're just constantly taking on the pressure, couldn't possess, couldn't hang on to the ball, couldn't really get the ball past our midfield, move it down the field. That wasn't something that we really saw in this match. And I think that's credit to the halftime changes. Bringing in Rodri, who's going to shore up the midfield, bringing in Guardiola, who's going to shore up the defense, really just, made it so something like that wouldn't happen, wouldn't take place. And it worked. So I think another thing that bringing in Guardiola helps is that I feel what I noticed in this match, in all honesty, the chemistry that he has with Akanji is incredible. It feels like they always know where to be, to accept a pass, to be open. The instance I saw in particular, Akanji, there was a ball over the top, and he headed it and knew right where Guardiola was going to be. Guardiola knew where to position himself. It's little things like that where, if that's off by a little bit, they could intercept the pass, come in behind, and we'd be, a 2-2 draw. So, it's the little things like that, the chemistry between the players, learning each other's mannerisms, knowing where we're going to be on the pitch at all times is really kind of just, again, another thing that makes us so dominant. And I'd love seeing two players like that be able to have that chemistry. And it's something I think you'll continue to see grow throughout the season, especially when new players come in. Obviously, there's quite a few new people that have come in since a player like Gundogan left and came back, rebuilding that chemistry. Obviously, Savio's got to build that chemistry as well, although not a ton because he was incredible. He was my man of the match, in all honesty. So I think a big thing that's goes unseen with him, with Grealish, and I think you kind of notice it with Doku not being at the level of those two, is just their ability to play defense, to win the ball back in attacking positions, be able to track back, know where to position themselves to intercept in passing lanes. And Savio did incredible with that in this match, being able to win the ball up high. He's done that the entire season, and it's something that's going to continue to go under the radar, but uh, it's a very important part of our attack, and being able to win the ball back in the attacking third is just him knowing where to position himself in those passing lanes to intercept those passes and, you know, putting himself in the right position to win the ball back, not afraid to go make a tackle and win the ball back that way as well. So it's something that is definitely helped us in this match, for sure. It's helped us in the earlier matches as well, and it's part of the reason why he's in this squad is his ability to defend from the front. So, like I said, my man of the match. We did see Diaz and Bernardo come on for Grealish and Stones for the last 8 to 10 minutes. Again, I think that's just Diaz shoring up the defense with fresh legs, making sure that we don't get caught out in that time. And then kind of the same thing with Bernardo to be able to hang on to the ball, hang on to possession, and just make sure that we don't get caught out, from with too many bodies forward. So all in all, like I said, it really wasn't our greatest match, but we got the 3 points. That's all that matters at the end of the day. We're going to have these matches where we're off. The biggest thing is going to be making sure that in those cases we can still get the 3 points, get a draw. Anything we can do to continue to keep gaining points. So it's early. We're 4 matches in, but we already got a 2-point lead, and it'd be great to just continue to grow on that. Obviously, we have an opportunity to do that at the weekend against Arsenal, but with Liverpool's loss to Forest, which was hilarious in its own right. But uh, the top four, we're sitting on 12 points. Arsenal and Newcastle are sitting on 10, and Liverpool sitting at 9. So we already got a lead over, I'd say, probably the 2 to 3 teams that are going to challenge us the most. I don't know if outside of those three, there's going to be someone who challenges us extensively this season. I again, I still don't know where Newcastle is. I feel like they might drop off a little bit and not really stay up there. And obviously, Liverpool is showing some weakness with losing at home to Forest. So these other teams have weaknesses. We obviously have our own weaknesses as well. I don't think we have as many. And in a match where we didn't perform the best, we were able to get 3 points. Arsenal weren't able to do that. They drew before the international break, which gave us a 2-point lead. And if we could be up, get the win against them on Sunday, and be up 5 points, 5 matches in, that would just be incredible, an incredible start. And that's kind of what you need. Just get up early and stay up and stay ahead. It's We've obviously come back. We've been the chaser the last couple of years, but it'd be nice to just get that big lead and have other clubs trying to chase us and just lock up the league early and focus on, hopefully we're still in the FA Cup at that point. Hopefully we're still in Champions League, and we can kind of rest players at the end and focus on winning those other 2 trophies, and not have to focus as much on the Premier League. So lock up the 5-peat earlier than we have in the past, or earlier than we have the last 2 years. So, but that's how the league's looking. As far as just some general news around the club, obviously the trial began today, and I said earlier, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to act like I know what's going on. I don't know a ton. I know a little bit here and there. I'm not the person to come to for really updates or just any new information on it. I don't have a legal background. I don't plan to do the research on it. Uh, the one thing I'm going to say is just be careful of who you trust news from. There's going to be a lot of fake stories. There's going to be a lot of people just saying things to try to make it seem like we're guilty, as they have been. Just know your source. Make sure you're just only listening to people who actually know what they're talking about, as to opposed to just random people. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of fake news stories and a lot of people assuming our guilt with no prior background or information, as they have before. But I think it's only going to get worse with the trial going on. So I would just warn everyone to be cautious with the information you see, and don't believe everything you see, especially now more than normal. But we'll see where it goes. I trust the club. I trust they know what they're doing, and I trust that they didn't do anything wrong. And if at the end of the year we're not in the Premier League, well, then I guess I'll be doing this about us going to win the championship next year. So uh, we'll see what happens. I trust our club. I trust we'll come through without a penalty, or with a very very little penalty, because I don't think we did anything wrong, and I don't think that the Premier League has the evidence to convict us on anything. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm kind of just over it, and ready for us to move on, and just be past it already. It's been way too drawn out, and I just kind of want it to stop looming. And once we beat the charges, it's going to be a very very fun time, more than normal, to be a City fan. So the meltdowns that are going to happen across the football community is going to be uh, definitely entertaining to watch. But in other news, Holland won Premier League Player of the Month, third time he's won it. I don't have much to say. I shouldn't have even They shouldn't have even had other participants in it with the amount of goals he scored uh, in the first month of the season. So it obviously is well deserved, but we will. My camera's being a little weird here, not focusing. But anyway, yeah, definitely well deserved. Not too much more to say on that, but City did release their fourth kit as well. We will be wearing that at home against Inter on Wednesday. So it seems like it's kind of a split decision on that. As far as I see, a lot of people who love it, a lot of people who hate it. Personally, not my favorite. As of now, I don't plan to get it. We'll see if it continues to grow on me a little bit more. But I do have the other two. I already have a home kit, and I do have the other two that should be coming hopefully in the next week or two here. I do have those ordered, so excited to get those. And yeah, including or increasing my my collection of City kits. But beyond that, injury news. Bob is hopefully. It sounds like he could be back in November already, which I think is great news considering all the news that came out in the beginning. Could be out for season well into next year, and I think it was looking more towards the end of the year. From what I've seen, it looks like he could be back in November. I trust Pep. I trust the club to not rush him back, but it would be the sooner we get him back, the better. I think just to have that depth, and with the preseason he had, I think it'll be nice to have him back. Hopefully, we get that version of him back. You'd hate for him to come back and just not be a good version of himself. So I hope that he's able to recover fully and able to come back and contribute the way he was before. Because all he's going to do is continue to help us and continue to uh, grow as a player and just become a force in the Premier League. And I think we were all looking forward to the season he was going to have. So hopefully he can have just a shortened version of that season. But I mentioned it earlier as well. Ake out, injured in the international break. I think from what I saw, it looks like he's going to be out at least a month, which is 7 matches. I'd say that's kind of a silver lining considering how bad it seemed to look, just being stretchered off. It looked like it could have been a lot worse than what it was. So I would take that as good news. In all honesty, we have good defenders. We have a strong defensive base, between the other five or six defenders that we have. I don't, he didn't get a ton of minutes before that. I think he was still kind of getting up his match fitness and whatnot. So it's he's a great player and he's going to help us throughout this season. But I don't think at this point, with the number of players we have, I don't think it. Hopefully, it shouldn't affect us too much, just because of the depth that we do have, just defensively between Rico's ability to essentially play anywhere in the back line, Akanji the same, Guardiol kind of the same as well. Stone extremely versatile, and Diaz, we're probably not going to see him much out of the center back position, but of course, obviously, he's always going to be a rock. But that being said, let's move into the two matches we got going on this week. So, starting off the Champions League campaign on Wednesday at home, first Inter. Haven't seen them since the Champions League final. So they've got a few new players since then. Obviously, we have new players as well. From what I see, I don't watch Serie A a ton, but they're third in the league right now, 2 wins, 2 draws. I think they kind of play the same way they used to. Like I said, obviously they have new players, new pieces. We do as well. I think it's going to benefit us that I think they kind of play the same way that they did back then. And obviously we change, we adjust. I think Pep's probably tried 15 to 20 different things since then. So I think it's going to benefit us changing and the versatility that we have just as a club to uh to show them something different that they didn't see before. So I fully back us to win that match and to start off on the front foot. So it should be exciting. I'm interested to see how this new format goes. It's more matches, but I don't think I don't think we'll see a ton of change. Obviously, I think each match becomes a little more important in this format, and I think that's kind of what they wanted. They wanted every match to mean something. So I get why they did it. As a fan, I'm excited that I get to see City play more often. It's just it is hard on the players, to only have a day or two of recovery in between the matches and have to go right back at it. But uh, I don't expect to see a lineup similar to what we saw this weekend. In all honesty, I think it would be more similar to the lineups we saw prior to the international break. So I don't even have a prediction in lineup. In all honesty, I'd expect Rodri will be in there. I'd assume De Bruyne will be in there. I would think uh, Diaz should be in there as well. Guardiola. Beyond that, I really don't know. Holland obviously as well. But I don't know if we see Bernardo come back in. I don't know if we see Foden interjected in there. Walker, Lewis, Akanji, I would assume probably, but again, you never know. It all depends on what Pep feels is best. Obviously, Stones performed very well against them last time. We could see him come out and play more of that role alongside Rodri. So it'll be interesting to see what we do. But like I said, I back us 100% to be able to move on. I do wish that they still had Onana in goal. Just seeing what he's done with United, but like I said, I'm still confident. But I expect us to start off strong, get the 3 points, and then move on to Sunday. So Sunday we have Arsenal at home. They're obviously coming off the North London Derby. I didn't watch it. I didn't care to watch it. Everything I saw, it didn't really seem like they deserved to win. Kind of the way they play. I'm sure they're going to show up, and I we're gonna probably. I don't think that they're going to be as good as they were last year. In all honesty, so I'd expect us to win that match. I'd assume they're going to come probably playing for a draw again. That's kind of what they do. They're not going to come and come at us and try to go full attack and pressing us. In my opinion, I just don't see them doing that. I don't think they have the mentality to come at us and to do that and to play like that for 90 minutes. They'll probably be looking for a lucky deflection like last year or something off a set piece. They're not going to be as they're not going to come at us and press us like Liverpool would, for example. So I expect to see that. Obviously, like I said, they're second in the league, 3 wins, 1 draw. They've only allowed 1 goal, and I'd assume Holland's going to change that. So he did struggle a little against them last year, so we'll see if he can kind of get that monkey off his back. I'm kind of sick of hearing how they think that they can shut down Holland. So I would love for him to prove that wrong. But it'll be interesting again to see what we do for a lineup with us having 2 matches a week every single week now for however long. So Odegaard is out. To my knowledge, I believe he's out at least, and we will have a little more rest than what they will. So they play Atalanta on Thursday, and they do have to travel to Italy. So all things that should benefit us: an extra day of rest, not having to travel, and obviously being at home for the match as well. Just not having to travel this entire week, I think it'll benefit our squad, keep them a little fresher. Just not having to go through any sort of long travel. So I'd expect that to benefit us. And again, I back us to be able to move on and be able to win that match as well. So we'll see how the next week goes. I'm excited. I'm not nervous at all. I really don't. I don't fear anybody. I think from what I've seen this year, I don't think we've hit our stride yet. I think it'll be a while before we hit our stride, but we still look better than anybody I've seen. And if we look this good and we've been able to rotate the squad and come out on top in every single match, the sky is the limit with this team. I don't want to throw treble out there again. But obviously, there's a long way to go. We're only 4 matches in, but I think we're able to win every single match that we're a part of. So uh, excited for this week. Obviously, I'll be back next week talking again about those matches. So we'll see what happens. But that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like the video. Go subscribe on YouTube, please. Subscribe on Spotify or Apple, Amazon, wherever you listen, whatever platform you listen. Please subscribe. Leave me a rating if you wish to, good or bad, however you feel about me. Leave a rating. It Feedback is always important to me. So thank you guys for listening. I do appreciate the 26 of you who are on here right now. So thank you for listening. Hopefully, we're coming away with 2 wins this week. But thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next week.